Hola amigos and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy III on NES. This is your host, Faraga. We're gonna go back into the Cave of Darkness. Huh? But didn't we already do this? Well, we partly did it, I guess. But now... we've got multiple Mystic Knights in our party. In fact, our entire party is pretty much comprised of Mystic Knights and a healing enemy. And it's pretty much consistent of... we're gonna be able to beat it this time. Let me just say that. The enemies here aren't even going to stand that much of a chance anymore. Hopefully, at least. As long as we keep focused. And keep on keeping on, dude, because enemies here don't really give out that much experience, so it's good to have, alright. What he's going to do is keep the Kikuichimonji, but he's going to replace his, Kotetsu with Ashura, and Mikey, who I gave the most defensive power, it's the Kotetsu. So he's the defense-minded one, not the offense-minded one. Okay. So anyway, right, we're not even going to, be all maze-like in this dungeon anymore. It's just going to be pretty much straightforward. Most of the enemies here shouldn't stand a chance. Enemies on the, later floors will be a bit difficult, but we've got the ability to heal our party members, because we've only got one Phoenix down and no raise spells, so I really hope we don't lose any more party members. So after a crushing defeat last time, I went all the way back to Fargabad just to get more equipment for our party members and whatnot, get more Mystic Knight equipment. So pretty much this dungeon shouldn't be an issue anymore. Now the only thing I fear might be an issue will be the boss. If I remember correctly, the boss isn't... Alright, first off, the boss can't split. If I remember correctly, you actually need to fight this boss in order to get the Ninja Job class. But then again, I'm not certain on this, so don't quote me, boy, I ain't said shit. But I mean... But this boss, I don't think you actually need to have Mystic Knights in your party because bosses can't split, I don't think. I don't remember this boss ever splitting, but... then again, I don't really remember this boss, and... we're lost, aren't we? Or we're gonna get lost, probably, at some point in this dungeon. We always get lost. Yeah, and that was a nice little critical hit there, and Deathclaw 1 is defeated. And wow. That was a bit more damage than I was expecting. No, wait, I'm wondering... no, wait, I think I know what it was. I think if you are trying to run away, all of your party members lower their defensive abilities and such. I'm hoping that's not the point, that's not the case, and that they just kept on getting lucky and stuff, but if that's the case, then... damn it. Damn it. That is the case, isn't it? So in other words, literally, in each battle, we're going to have to use up MP or an item or something. Because otherwise these enemies are going to turn into the Ghost of Christmas kick my ass. Like Deadpool. And my voice is probably sounding like a 10-year-old right now. God darn you, Square Enix. Darn you. Vile fiends! Back from whence you came. Well, we should be close to where we were, at least. Hopefully. Emphasis on should be, because not everything works as it should in this game. Alright, so the orangey enemies, like the orange-colored enemies, don't pack as much defensive power as the green-colored enemies. So we'll keep that in mind first and foremost. Orange, no defense. Green, yes defense. Except for Balfrey, which seems to have no defense whatsoever, even if it's green. So my point is moot. Darn you, Square Enix, for proving me wrong on something that I should have knowledge of. Darn you, Valfiend! And God, miss. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect, man. Perfect. Oh, when it splits, because I wasn't expecting me to miss, but at least it's slightly parallelly. I need to stop talking. I need to stop talking. You guys don't want me to talk. You guys don't want me to talk. You guys watch these videos to watch me fail at killing minor enemies. You don't come here for the talking. You don't come here for my conversation. You couldn't give a damn about my conversation. I mean, I don't have interesting commentary. What do you think I am, an LP'er? No, I'm just some weird guy on the internet who plays video games and does walkthroughs of them. Or kinda just general playthroughs and stuff, and you guys are probably going to complain, oh, you're doing this part wrong and stuff, even though everyone has their own playstyle. You're thinking, oh, hey, that boss isn't difficult, you suck, and that boss isn't supposed to be that easy, you bleh. Phlegm. Ha ha ha. One of these days, this is just going to kill me from the inside, isn't it? The problem with this dungeon is that its enemies, they're kind of expecting you to only have, like, one Dark Knight or something. Or I don't think they're expecting you to have, like, anything worth talking about in terms of the ability to fight back against them, because they give out so little experience points. It's almost as if they expect you to start level grinding on them and start causing them to split just so that you can get a decent experience points out of them. I mean, that's kind of weird, and, I mean, come on, dude. Alright, Deathclaw is down, which just leaves Balfrey. Balfrey's down, which just leaves no one. Yes, and that was a perfect, 2100. 2100... I mean, on the bright side, you get money from these fights, so at the very least, you get money. You don't get anything good, like experience points, but you get money. And I realize I'm talking through most of these battles, so I'm not cutting these battles out. Or, I might not cut these battles out. I might cut these battles out, but I might not. That was 700 damage, but that was a critical hit, so that's excusable. These enemies aren't as pure evil as the Ohi bleh bleh, whatever those weird face things were from Tower of Owen, but God, it feels like it was so long ago when we did the Tower of Owen. I mean, I'm already starting to feel nostalgia about the parts we were doing back in the old days. Back in the old parts, when my controller was always glitching out, and when Bahamut was... we couldn't fight back, and when I was being killed by werewolves. Okay. I mean, that's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to, like, suddenly want to go back to those old areas and just go back for the memories, because, I mean, because you just... No, that's not good. That's bad. It's bad for a game like this, at least, because, I mean, at the end of the game, we might be able to do some of that nostalgia tripping, and after the game, we'll be doing some nostalgia tripping and stuff, and... Why am I saying tripping so much? I'm tripping, dog! Bro! But you're not supposed to feel nostalgia for a game that you are playing while you're still doing that same playthrough of it. I'm not certain if I'm making any sense here. Oh well. As much as I'm complaining about this dungeon, though, it's nowhere near as bad as the Tower of Owen was. I mean, I remember how many recording sessions we had to go through to finally beat the Tower of Owen. But I mean, the Ohishiki enemies were just wailing on us then, and these enemies aren't nearly as bad in comparison to how those enemies were at that point in the game, and I was on par for level at that point of the game too. I don't know if I'm over level or under level for these enemies anymore. I mean, it's really just go with the flow, man. Hopefully we're coming across the boss here pretty soon. Because I really don't want to keep using these Mystic Knights anymore. I think this is the last dungeon in which Mystic Knights are actually required for fighting enemies. No, wait, I wonder if there are any splitting enemies in that area. There's an area that we're going to be approaching, which is a dungeon within a dungeon. Somewhere inside. And I'm really not looking forward to the final dungeon in this game either, because... Alright, the final area in this game, you have to go through an area. And then you have to go through a separate area. And there's a separate area inside that separate area. And then there's also another separate area inside that area. So you have to go... There's so many dungeons in a row just to do everything and get everything and such. It's just ridiculous. And we're not at the boss yet. We're still fighting these enemies, cutting them like a buffalo. Alright, so what's in this treasure chest? In this treasure chest, a random encounter! It's enemies. which is just Genji Shield. Not gonna be useful to us since we don't usually run shields anyway. So let's keep on keeping on. Okay, let's see. That way, nope. That way, nope. This way! Of course. And of course, they always have to make me go out of my way. Out of my way to do things, you know? I just love that about this game. I love it so much, how they make me go out of the way to do all these things instead of just making the path make sense. They force me to pretty much explore every facet of this dungeon. Isn't it great? Isn't it fantastic? This is what this is, you know? So we go down, and finally a staircase. And a staircase, and there was a random encounter, but there's a staircase right here. And are we at the end yet? Are we at the end? There's another treasure chest, and that's Genji Helm! Yes, 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 yes. Finally something to wear on my head. Okay. Alright. Okay, wow. That was... Okay, as soon as I sigh in relief, I get attacked by more enemies. I'd always have these games. I chose poorly! Of course, these enemies have to take a frickin' cow poop in my day. When I say that I don't like these splitting and dividing enemies, I don't like these splitting and dividing enemies. Okay, the splitting enemies aren't as bad. They pack a bit more health, sure. But, or maybe they pack a bit less health. Sure, but they're not as bad because... I mean... you can attack them, at least, with any weapon, without fear of them automatically splitting. You can't do that with these enemies. These enemies are going to split no matter what weapon you hit them with, unless you're using a katana. So you have to pick one incredibly specialized job class in order to get through dungeons with these dividing enemies. And I guess it kind of works, because it's forcing you to vary your abilities and stuff, and have a variety of different things that you're comfortable with using. But at the same time, it's also a little bit annoying. What also annoys me is that we didn't even get halfway through this dungeon in the last part because we weren't properly equipped with these job classes. Alright, so I actually don't know if these hell horses can split or not. I'm not gonna even attempt to find out. No. So we just need to kill this one last Kronos. And hopefully boss time soon. Because we're optimized for dealing damage. We're not optimized for taking damage by any means, but we are the... Okay. Water there. See what it's making me do. There's a secret passage down here. Where does this lead? Well, there's at least the Fang of Earth. So we do need to go through this dungeon after all. We do. This dungeon is mandatory. which is odd because I don't remember anything from this dungeon, or at least I don't remember anything really standing out about this dungeon. Even the boss is kind of bland. It's just the fact that it's filled with so many of these enemies. It's kind of silly. These hell horses have so little HP. I should be focusing on that Kronos right there. But no, I'm not, because I'm a silly goose. Better lead to something good. Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. Okay. Okay. Let's use our last Phoenix down to bring Mikey back from the dead. Why not? I wasn't expecting Mikey to die, and you never expect anything. Alright, so I picked the right path, I guess? Well, of course I picked the path on the right, but I mean, is this the correct path? I guess is what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. You fight that one. You fight that one. No, you two, fight to the death. I'm hoping that wasn't the last Phoenix down in the entire game that we just used up. Go down. We can't go down any further, which means we have to go this way. Means we have to... Cure 4 on the entire party. And then cure on... No! Stop curing Leo. That's one thing I don't like about these menus. More enemies. More enemies, of course. We need more monkeys. We don't have enough monkeys. We need more monkeys. Ball sack. And dead. That's what we get for curing Leo. That's what we get for curing Leo. Okay, so hold on. I think I've got a good strategy for how we're gonna fight this guy. We're gonna fight the Hekaton, the boss here. We've got Knight, White Wizard, Magic Knight, and Viking. And Magic Knight has some defense. Some defense, so... Dear Fang, who dies? Break the seal, which has lasted so long. Okay, so now... This is Hekaton. Hopefully he won't be able to deal a Hekaton of damage. That being said, you can never be too sure. You can never be too careful. Cure 3, I guess. Alright, so attack and attack. You want to have the optimum equipment that you can have for each of your party members for this fight. I don't think Hekaton really has any tricks up his sleeve. I don't think he's the boss. I'm thinking he might be. He just deals a metric crap ton of damage with his physical attacks, but that's really the only thing. All this boss does is physical attacks, I think. So, keeping that in mind, we should have an easy time with this guy. Emphasis on should. Remember, things don't always pan out the way they're supposed to. Still, so far this guy's not nearly as bad as Odin. No, that guy wasn't bad at all. That guy wasn't bad. Wait, that was a boss fight? Oh. Well, obtain the other thing. Alright, now back to Dorga's house. Dorga and Une are waiting. Okay. Okay. So this is one of those things where the dungeon is worse than the boss. Much, much worse. Much, much worse. Crikey, man. You know what I can do? I can exit. I can heal. And yeah. You pretty much know what we're going to be doing in the next episode. We're going to be taking on Dorga and Une at their house, at Dorga's house. We're not really taking them on, per se. Just listening to what they have to say to us and stuff, and we're going to progress through the story even more. So until then, this is Chaos signing out. Stay tuned.